Deck is very cool. Again, you know, this is something that an idea I've been thinking about a lot lately, where a lot of times you will evaluate cards via the context of decks you've played and in the context of formats, right? And so, like, I've always been, like, very vocally anti-Reality Chip and Psi in decks like this, right? And I feel like I have a problem where I evaluate cards through the lens of my past experiences, and then when new tech comes out, like Paradise Mantle, I'm hesitant to embrace cards I've previously... even Emry is a card I haven't liked in this archetype very much in the past. I'm, like, hesitant to embrace these kind of cards, the cards that I've, like, spoken badly about in the past. But I really do feel like Paradise Mantle, giving you more zeros, like you Emry on turn 1 very consistently, makes me look twice at these cards, and I'm just kind of interested in playing them some more. It is also true. I need to change the name because I don't even have Dreadnought in the deck anymore. You need you know, like, Nautilus for that card to be good. Chip is also there. Also legendary creatures for Mox Amber. And one thing I really felt yesterday when we were playing the deck was that we really just kind of needed to we need to be able to go crazy in the late game, and having access to, like, 2 chip 2 Psi really does let you do that too. Paradox outcome. Outcome is just, like, not good here, I think. You don't want payoffs that are good when you only good when you have Urza in play, I think. Okay, yesterday the deck was a turn 1 Arayo machine. Is Moonsnare Protocol still not good? So the main idea behind no Moonsnare is, like, Moonsnare makes it really tough to play Emry on turn 1 because it eats up your blue mana. Okay, rough to multiply and with this deck, of course. I think we put back Monitor Otawara. But the idea is that the Paradise Mantle will let you turn 1 Emry a lot more often. You should play a foil island or different art. I feel pretty confidently that the island's better than Oboro in the deck, but yeah, you could. Main question is, should I have Spike Fields for a mountain and a Lightning Strike? Okay. I feel like 2 Spike Fields is fine. I think it's fine. I'm not a huge lover of Spikefield Hazard, but, you know, you're still living in the Mana Dork format. Kind of nervous about playing Lightning with only 8 wizards. It's probably okay. It's not a wizard, is it? Shaman. Did Poko get better or worse after Yorion? It's probably stayed about the same. Yorion was a fine matchup. I think it like largely fine. I've heard that Squee is bad. I don't know if I necessarily agree, but I don't want to see. Cyber looks pretty good. Close to Obosh, but you also get Giganta. I think it's okay to keep. I like Infiltrate a lot. The next best wizard you can play is probably the 1/2 that gets +1/+0 in haste if you have 2 or more instants and sorceries in the yard. So, like, as good as Kumano is, which is very good, it might be better to play that card so you just have 12 wizards. Lava Runner sucks. Yeah, if you think Lava Runner sucks, then this is probably okay. This seems fine. This seems fine overall. Turn 1 Ragavan. We have Ornithopter, not Minmite, unfortunately. Let me see what my top card is, maybe. I need to crack the Bauble, unfortunately, too. Oh, I guess, sorry, I don't know why I thought that would actually be relevant there at all. If there's, like, any world where I want to play the Ornithopter or not. Classic, like, deck, scramble my brain. Spins per 6 months? Thank you. I also like, I like Todd Anderson's, like, red-white Obosh mono-red list, where I feel like splashing white for that enchantment is, like, a really good way to fight the red-black matchup. It seems like probably the main concern. We're going to play Chandra over Impulse to get a Watch as a companion. Well, you're playing Electrostatic Infiltrate to turn on Wizard's Lightning is the payoff there. And Infiltrate is really good. Yeah, Red Wedding. Yeah, I think that deck's really good. But again, just like, you know, one big issue I have with Pioneer at the moment is like when you're playing an aggro deck or a linear deck in general in Pioneer, it really feels like you sacrifice a lot of equity. It feels like you sacrifice a lot of equity when you lose the die roll. My opponent kept a 1-lander. Gross. Yeah, Frenzy's probably the better card against red-black, so... Yeah, maybe Frenzy is just better overall. and they're hitting my 0 drops too. They have Blood Moon, maybe? They do have Blood Moon. Can play it up though. Oh, they forgot to cast the Memnite. It's funny. Ooh, they're playing Channeler. That's cool. It's very old school. Red black, no scam. What is Minamo for? It untaps Emry, so you get to activate Emry twice. I mean, draw non-Saga land. They're kind of doing okay. It'd be funny to just like roll to 5, get hit by Ragavan 4 times, get your Urza Saga Blood Moon to win anyways. Oh, a 0-mana creature also lets me Urza. If they have a land, they can Urza. Oh, dang it. They're playing Liliana of the Veil. Alright, next turn we get to cast a Thoughtcast, baby. But it's still not finding their lands. They don't have Delirium yet. What is the Oboro for? The Oboro was for filtering colorless mana into blue mana back when this list had Citadel. It's actually not in the deck anymore. I think it may be in the Stream Decker. I cut it for an island. Never ask me about it again. I'm gonna let's go to game 2. Not a matchup where we're gonna sideboard heavily at all. I could definitely see Pithing Needle being good if we're up against explosives. This looks like the mid deck that placed high in a challenge last weekend, so maybe we can just take a quick stroll over to MTG Goldfish and check. So this is the scam list that did well in the challenge. They probably just unhitted Sugu, not explosives. Let's resubmit. I'm not gonna bring a needle for Liliana. Yeah, Lantern Exiles. I think 1 Lantern is fine. I don't want extra copies. Soul Guide Lantern is not a good way to stop Delirium. Like, Relic is fine, but we're playing Lantern over Relic because of our Emrys in this deck. Yeah, Hidetsuga Consumes All is pretty tough for our deck to beat. Okay, we have the Nut Draw, or my favorite draw to have in this archetype, which is turn 1 Saga, Springleaf Drum, activate on turn 2. I have the choice of playing around either a removal spell on Memnite or a discard spell. I feel like I'd rather play around a discard spell. They're, you know, I think it's somewhat likely to be on Grief. They're not super likely to want to Fury my Memnite. How does this deck win? Just Construct? I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, that's the main way. Yeah, you make big constructs with Urza and Saga. You generate a lot of value with Emry inside, Reality Chip, you know. You attack your opponent until they're dead. It's really not that complicated. I know the deck doesn't have a Celestial Colonnade. I know this deck list has no Celestial Colonnade, but I think it's still, despite that fact, Plenty capable of winning. Although you could play a Hall of the Storm Giants. Alright, both chips thought seized. Yeah. Yeah, I think you could play 1 or 2 halls. I don't know. Interesting. You're an Urza deck, you know. It doesn't have no cost. Yeah, but then people would look at the Hall of the Storm Giants and be like, "Oh, that's how the deck wins." And then we can move on. Yeah, in an Urza deck Hall, you know, it's just kind of hard to play that card with 4 drops sometimes, but it'd be fine. I think it's like somewhat marginal to play it or not play it. Okay. Then we're gonna make a token. I think I'm gonna get the Soul Guide Lantern with the intent to reduce their delirium, but also like draw a card, so I can maybe Sigh plus make a token next turn, or a better chance to do that rather. I love your Red Prowess list, man. Paper. Yeah, I like that deck too. I saw Andrea playing Red Prowess today with Electrostatic Pummeler. I don't know if he was playing my list, but I like that list too. I think the Izzet version might still be better, but Mono Red is a bit smoother. Blue Red has better sideboard, higher power. So one issue with sacking the Lantern would be Construct dying to Lightning Bolts. Although now I'm just like definitely gonna pop the Lantern to exile the yard. Okay. I think I'm gonna prioritize Thought Monitor over Sigh here, so that the construct doesn't die to a bolt. Also, just more pressure. Then we have some tension here, where we can Thought Monitor to put them to 3. I think it's holding for Sigh is better, though. Good draws. It's also really bad if I, like, Sigh this turn, and then they kill my construct, and I just can't cast a Thought Monitor next turn. Discards Inquisition, 2 cards in hand. Both sides drawn. So they're going to chump block, go to 6. And then sack 2 artifacts, draw a card. Pretty likely to do that end of turn, just like the zeros, not the non-Thopter. Oh, this is a beautiful token. Wow, I never see this one. Why not attack with Memnite? They just block with the Seasoned Pyromancer. Just dies if you attack with it. Okay, so they probably should have waited till end of turn, because now I just get to Sigh for a card. Another Saga ticking up. Oh, baby. I will admit, when Sigh looks good, boy, does it look really good. Alright, going game 3. Did you get a little insight if there's like explosives over there or not? I think I'm just going to... Well, maybe I could cut up Mox Amber for a Needle. Can name Liliana, Din of the Bugbear. I don't know. I feel like I don't really want the second Amber anyways. Yeah, Affinity is definitely a really fun deck to play. I'm gonna have to mulligan this though. Welding Jar might be nice to have. Yeah, maybe. Turn 1 Emry. Okay, keep this with back on island, I guess. This is my Patreon. I have a cyber guide for moderate prowess. Channel Fire CFB Pro does. I don't have a Patreon, but I have deck guides that I write for Channel Fireball. And there is, I believe there's one for that one. It's a bit older. Although, you know, I think they're migrated over to TCG Player. Yeah, pretty good turn one. I trade a Ragavan for a Memnite. They decide they don't want to. There's another Ragavan on top, so they might offer that trade next turn. I think I'm actually going to really prioritize casting Thoughtcast here. Despite it meaning I'm going to get hit by the Ragavan. They're going to have a second Ragavan. Trading is like not that good for me anyways. Unlocking this Thoughtcast feels like a big priority to me, so let's do it. Literally, how is that in their hand? I mean, it's okay that they just let me Emry, but like literally, how do they have a Terminate there? I'm okay with it, but very confused. Needle, oh, I can't believe I boarded in the Needle and they're gonna Needle my stupid Urza Sagas. That's unlucky. Although it would have been a Mox Amber, so it would have also been good with the Ragavan. Oh, okay. Well, fair enough then. So I think I have to keep the Bauble in play for Affinity. Immediately draw another Saga. Not great. Draw another Saga. Yikes. Take for Joff. Plus, look at chat. I can take a look. Now this is a swamp. They have a black source. They have. I guess Stroke's okay. It literally hurts them more than you. That's just not true, right? Killed this Saga. So then is Ragavan 3 mystery cards. I'm gonna block here. Although, maybe if I look at what my top card is, I could use this as a scry. I really don't want to draw Ornithopter. Yeah, I really don't want to draw Ornithopter. we've had this joke a couple times. The three bindings main. I think you've done it the best. I think you've done the joke the best here. Okay, my 4th Emry. So we'll go Drum, Emry, tap Emry to Drum, Shadowspear. It's the correct number 2 bindings. It's 4. It's 4. When to play the Thopter? Oh, this is the second time they've just like forgotten to play the Thopter. Yeah. So we talked about Sai. I've been really down on both Sai and Chip, and honestly Emry in this archetype too. But just like I really think the Paradise Mantle tech makes all of these cards a lot better. So I'm just kind of more interested in revisiting them, I guess. Okay, now I'll block here. Take 2. It's kind of bad if they remove my Emry, then I still am mana short of Urza, but I think it's time. Knew that was coming. That's okay. Okay. So I can wait on what I cast with Emry, but let's go Ornithopter. I guess I get Aether Spellbomb. Yeah, Arroyo's like the coolest card you can play, but it's really just not that good. We tried it yesterday. I disliked it a lot. It was easily the worst card in the deck, unfortunately. You could maybe still play one copy, but it would probably be worse than like just yeah. Beseiju, Urza Saga. It's just so much so good against it. Cascade cards. It's kind of annoying against my Spellbomb loop, I guess. Not the end of the world, though. I think we're not going to sack the Spellbomb here. I think we just spin. Oh, baby. What's great about having the reality chip and Psy is just like when you're in spots like this. When you're in spots like this, your Urza spins and like your late game is just a lot better. I think it's probably best to actually just equip Shadowspear, not spin again though. And then I could maybe equip Shadowspear over to Ornithopter. I think I'm not going to play around Hidden Sugu consumes all, though maybe me saying that summons it, right? I know I can still spin. I think I would rather just do this. Maybe I don't know. Like I don't want to like tap out of blockers against the Ragavan either, but you can spin again. Okay, we win. Awesome. Feels good after that Mold to 5 game 1. Mold to 5 get hit by Urza a million times or Ragavan a million times. The sand would be so good if it had a blue, but we're blue that we don't have one. Although this sand is also a turn 1 Emry. I've been saying this deck but this deck is really a turn 1 Emry machine. Probably best to put back the Urza. Could maybe put back the Lantern. Kinda greedy. Let's get greedy. Yeah, the big changes are that we cut the Arayo on account of Arayo being big Garbo. I made a couple of the small, like I cut the bounce mono blue land, and I cut for an island, and then I cut I cut something. I cut the Spell Pierce from the sideboard 4 or something. I don't know what I can't remember what it was though. Morning Shane. Okay, we're up against creativity. Emry's alive and well. Is there a Mox? Yeah, we have 2 Moxes. Don't really feel like there's much reason to play this one right now, though. So it has Dwarven Mine, 5 mystery cards. Ridden 6. Thankfully, I have no 1 toughness creatures here, I suppose. Then, assuming they don't kill my Emry, I can cast Urza next turn. No, I think Metallic Rebuke is a trap. I really don't like that card very much. They're not going to play Ren this turn. Kill my Emry. Okay. Big draw step for me. Still could be a big draw, I guess. Oh, sorry. Oh no, that's a different Ren in 6 because we did that on their upkeep. So they have 2 Rens now. It seems they don't have green mana. So we are hoping to draw lands. They have Spell Pierce. If they have Spell Pierce, we're not resolving Thoughtcast. Is Blue Steel different than Blue Affinity? Yeah, Blue Steel is like an old weird brood that plays like... it plays Chief Engineer, and then the other Chief Engineer, the 3-mana one that's, I guess, better. Price was the same back, extra 0 for Sai. I mean, in this spot, you're supposed to, like, reduce Affinity so you can play a 1-mana spell after Thoughtcast, right? Yeah, the Zach Elsic special. Tank, 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 tank. Archon. I mean, their hand is, you know, two of their 4 cards are Ren, so... yeah, they... win. Okay, so I want the Flusterstorms in. If I'm going to cut the chip. Sai is actually kind of interesting, making like extra blockers. I don't want the Shadowspear. I think I'm okay. I guess if they're playing white, they're a lot less likely to have Persist, so maybe I can cut the Lantern. I do want the first Needle for Ren to Fairy. I want at least 2 Spellbombs, I think. Maybe not 3. I think I'm comfortable to go down on Midnights against the Ren deck. Maybe cut a Mox Amber as well. Play a 3rd Aether Spellbomb. This deck is a very high synergistic deck. This deck is very linear, very synergistic. You cannot afford to just bring in Ashiok against like decks with lots of fetch lands. Ashiok is almost exclusively for like Titan Dredge, you know. No 4th Spellbomb. I think 4 is a bit much, you know. Yeah, Ashiok doesn't stop creativity. I do really like that Sai makes you a lot of blockers for Archon. Kind of a slow hand, but let's try it. Good chance I'm going to wait till the Saga on turn 3, so I can, you know, not miss out on a token. Yeah, unfortunately, Riot was the worst card in the deck by a lot. Yeah, I definitely hold the 0 drops for Sai here. Interesting draw. Sai Mars is a bit of a yikes. I know, I am usually like super against Sai, but I really do feel like the Paradise Mantle tech just is making me want to take another look at it. And I will definitely say it's been better than I usually think of it so far. But usually I agree. Usually I'm big anti-Sai. Binding it. Is Leyland Binding just all over the format? Yep. I mean, I don't know what you expected. I don't know what people expected. The card is just, you know, ridiculous. What can you say? So we draw land next turn. We get to go Urza Sai into Minamite. Alright, so land would be really, really good here since my opponent tapped out. Springleaf Drum, unfortunately, is, you know, mana for next turn, not this turn. But we can go Drum into attack for 1. Can make a Thopterist to block the Shaman. If they put 1 Archon into play, we can get Aether Spellbomb. Sack the Ornithopter, keep playing. What's more impactful, Prismatic Ending or Binding? I mean, Binding is way better than Ending right now, so I feel like probably Binding, but, like, as far as, like, impact, maybe, you know, Endings has had more impact over Modern's history, but Leyland Binding is better than Prismatic Ending. Do we not have 4 mana with Minamite? Nope. 3. Is Joel better than Ending? I'll get back to y'all. Pending killed Path Exile. Path Exile had been dead a long time before Pending has printed. I think a lot of people had stopped playing Modern before the release of Modern Horizons 2 and are under the impression that Path Exile was a Modern staple before Prismatic Ending was printed, but Path had been like unplayable in Modern for like at least like a year or 2 before MH2. Yeah, I mean, Path is always been bad. I don't know. You played it because there wasn't anything better. It was a sideboard card long before Mishra. Yeah. It is still a sideboard card. That is true. It's not. It is not completely unplayable. Which is about as good a review as I can give you. Ooh, yikes. Path was fine, in my opinion, until the printing of Push. Yeah, it's maybe about then. I don't know. In that time frame. So I can Urza and then cast Psy. Or I can Psy. Yeah, I have to Psy this turn, or Urza this turn. So I guess I cast these first. Hold on. Although I guess if they have a removal spell, they're just gonna kill it before I get the token anyways. Path is sneaky decent now that lots of decks are playing 1 or no basics. I challenge you to name a single deck in Modern that's playing 0 basics. Belcher, okay. Path, very good against Belcher. Path is great against Belcher. Path great against Oops All spells. So, Path Exile, phenomenally good against both Belcher and Oops All spells. Is it though? No, it does literally nothing. The Archon decks play 1 basic. Sure, 1 basic. The comment was, I challenge you to name 1 Modern deck that plays 0 basics, though. I don't think it exists. What Archon deck plays a basic? Most Archon decks play at least 1 mountain. At least 1 basic. I don't play basics in Domain Zoo. I think most lists do play at least 1 basic, but sure, Domain Zoo. Just, you know, stock, list, creativity, 1 mountain. I guess it's a weird Jund list, 1 mountain. They usually play 1. Okay, so... Thankfully, of course, my opponent doesn't have a creativity, it seems. Yeah. There's not a reason to play Path. I don't think that's the point. It's just I hope it's not the point. Is Infect still a thing? Yeah, except instead of Infect creatures, it plays Colossus Hammer. I don't like Sire Chip. I'm liking them a lot more than I expected to be honest, but yeah, I'm a historic hater of both of these cards. Prismari Command. Kill the Strong Struck Loot 2. Creativity this turn would put 3 Archons in play, and they would get a to copy 1. Probably be kind of bad, huh? I mean, we have 1 Spellbomb, I guess, but... Would Swords be played over Binding and decks could play both? I mean, they would just play 4 of each, but... Yeah, Swords is probably better than Leyline Binding. Although, it's like, you know... You just play both in a lot of decks. Joel should be a global. Yeah, Joel is really funny. I'm coming around. Watsy told me Leyline Binding is a Legacy staple. Yeah, so Binding doesn't see any play in Legacy. That's the meme. I mean, Binding does seem like so much worse in a Wasteland format, right? And I feel like Triomes also are like definitely cards that are harder to play in Legacy because they have Wear Tear. I think I'm probably just supposed to bounce my Thought Monitor. Good game so far. Hopefully this Urza resolves. Whoa, we drew Otawara, which will only cost 2 if we have Urza and Sai in play. So Thought Monitor is +1 mana, draw 2. Not the worst effect. Interesting. Okay, I think drawing that, I'm going to be content to use 2 Thopters to kill Ren and 6, hold up Flusterstorm Otawara instead of spinning. The Triumph cycled. Immediately taps white mana. This could be probably Teferi, right? Can bounce Teferi and then Flusterstorm if my opponent does find and cast creativity here. Also, if they bounce my Construct, I get to go sack to Sai to fizzle their draw, and I get to draw a card. Well, notably, I don't have enough mana to Otawara and Flusterstorm. I'm 1 short now. I think that's fine, though. Should this be on the Delirium sorcery counter? I know we have Delirium right now, but I kind of think Delirium overall is probably kind of difficult to achieve. We hit Flusterstorm. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, I'll just I think be okay holding up. Oh, Otawara is only Emry is basically free because Otawara makes is only 1 mana to the channel, so I can go cast Emry, 1 mana Otawara. Yeah, so I can attack with this pretty easily. One mana channel Otawara. I don't know that I've ever done that before. We'll see if we, I guess, even get to do it this game, though. Oh, no, you can cast things that you hit off of Urza through Teferi, because you can just cast up till end of turn. The cards that make you cast it immediately, you can't cast with Teferi in play, but if you can cast it till end of turn, you just wait till the stack is clear. Oh, they have something. Leyline Binding. On Emry? How is it Emry? How did they not binding to Urza already? I don't understand. Don't understand. As it was suggested, Pure Sight Marrow as an Oracle 4th Mantle. Cut Science-ship. Okay, I'm gonna read Pure Sight Marrow. Let's see what that card does. Blue, Wizard 2. Look at the top card of your library, you may exile that card. So it's untap, look at the top card of your library, exile the card. So it's an infinite combo with Paradise Mantle. I don't know. I feel like in these, like, this is, a deck that's completely built around artifact synergies. It's not an artifact payoff, it's a Paradise Mantle payoff. And it's one that you have to untap with, which is, easier said than done. Maybe not even that easily said. I like the idea though, like the thought is nice. Well, I need to equip Mantle to Minmites. You will live. We 4-1 the last league with the Bangkok. We were like 2-3 and a 4-1, so like, 60% win rate. Nothing crazy. Seems like a 3rd Amber wouldn't be terrible. I don't think it would be terrible, yeah. I don't think it would be necessarily correct either. Okay, I guess I'm happy enough that they didn't ping the Ornithopter. Big draw step here. Ooh, a sideboard card. I mean, this is the problem with, like, sideboarding as heavily as we have in this deck. They lose your synergies. Okay, so they probably have Prismari command with that pause there. Mox Amber is really good with the Psy. So hopefully we get to go like Flusterstorm, Prismari command, Flusterstorm creativity, untap, draw land for Psy. This is a lot has to go right here. Draw land for Psy, go land, Psy, Mox Amber, and we can't even Thoughtcast. We're gonna hold up Flusterstorm, I guess. Can we not afford to play with 2 artifact lands? This version is so much bluer than older versions I've played. Or maybe it's not even. I guess it's not that much bluer because you're not playing Hard Evidence. You could play like at least 1 Darksteel Citadel, but I'm not sure that you need it. Okay, please cast your creativity. Please, I'm begging. Okay, that's fine as long as you have nothing. Alright. It's actually not that bad if we draw a land for Saga. It gives us an extra mana for next turn. But I'm very close to ultimating the Rin though, which you probably just lose to. Pure Sight also lets you scry with jumps. Seems like a better angle than the side plan. I don't know, it's just, you know, if untapping with a 2-mana creature and like trying to combo with it immediately was a good plan in Modern, you would see a lot more Devoted Druid. It doesn't seem to me to be like, and again, like, you know, just having unsynergistic cards is not something you can afford to really do with this deck. I mean, yeah, so you can play Moonsnare, but what I really like about no Moonsnare is Emry is like so much easier to play on turn 1. So like specifically turn 1 Emry is like much easier with Mantle. They ult and have 7 cards in hand, seems pretty bad. Astute observation. It is in fact pretty bad. It is in fact pretty bad here. Yeah, I no longer need my insights. This also, you may have noticed, pretty bad. Well, I guess I'm happy they're minusing instead of just picking up land. Come on, Sai. Bolt Sai. Well, I think I'm just gonna hope they don't have a creativity. Seems like a plan. Thank you, Mr. Pig. Thank you. Nice of you just come in and say. And then maybe we draw another 0. Not another 0, but it's kind of a hero. Could play the Otawara as a land and equip the Mantle to the Thopter. Let's not. Got 3 cards in their hand. Rimblem in play. Be an awesome game to win. And Det, thank you for the 10-pack. That's really nice of you. You've got to give this up from Det. Make sure to thank him. If you have anything you want to say, you know, say it. I mean, I'm tapped out of my opponent's not just like creativity. Oh. I think they found the line. They seem to have found the line. Okay. Fought hard. Blissfully unaware. Oh, look at this hand. Look at this hand. And we even have Minamo to untap Emry. That's on a Molda 6. Although, we are on the draw, so I guess we are giving our opponent a chance. On a Molda 5, though. Does Jailer stop the Ren and 6 emblem? I think it does. I don't... Should, right? Because it retraces the ability that's being granted. Sorry. Music on. What made creativity take off the last months? Hasn't it basically been around since Mishra with Archon? I mean, it's just been good the whole time. It's just been underplayed, really. The lists, have become more tuned. Leyline Binding was an upgrade, of sure, but... Modern is just not a solved format, People like, just, it's just not solved. Oh yeah, Fable's a big upgrade too. That's actually a good point too. But also, like, Fable was around for a while and took off. A little bit of time to pick up. Has been a good deck, the whole time. More creativity. Maybe we get to untap with Emry. That kind of looks like they're trying to set up a Leyline Binding here. Maybe not. I'm just gonna untap, actually. I feel like there's a chance they expected me to crack the Bauble. I feel like they expected me to crack the Bauble, and they were gonna, like, Binding afterwards. But if I just untap, if I just click OK, then they Binding or Fire Ice or whatever, and I can just go sack Bauble. Oh, Ice. So I guess we can go Bauble, target Bauble, untap the Emry. Why did they not fire Emry? Is Modern currently in a true 50% win rate? I don't know what that means. A true 50 to 50% win rate meta. I don't know what that is. What do you mean by that? Yeah, maybe they're missing a land. No decks have really polarized matchups. There are polarized matchups in Modern. I feel a lot less polarized maybe than in the past, but I don't know. I feel like if everything's super flat, things are less interesting, at least to me. Not everybody shares that opinion, I guess. So I can go Urza, 3 mana after Urza. So I can go Psy, cast Bauble, cast Reality Chips. Probably seems like a pretty good turn. I guess I should have waited a little bit, but I need to cast this one. I need to cast one of my 2 zeros before the Urza. No, Boggles is not currently a deck that sees really any play in Modern. Every 2 months, one Modern player convinces themselves that somehow Boggles is secretly nuts, and it's not. It's not very good. There's just so much incidental cards that are great against it. 1 mana short of reconfiguring here. We do get to look at the top card, though. I'd say an above average turn. Is this our turn 3? Turn 3. Yeah, but what if it is actually broken, huh? What do it needs to be more competitive? Oh, a lot of stuff, honestly. But there's just like Dress Down is so good against it. Archon of Cruelty is really good against it. Force of Vigor. Urza Saga tokens are sometimes just bigger than your Boggles. Living In is really good against it. Yeah, is Shadowspear? Shadowspear turns off Hexproof for your Boggles. There's Engineered Explosives is less popular now, but for a while it was super popular because of Luris. Just, it's just like, it just ain't it, It just ain't it. Moonsnare prototype over Paradise Mantle seems like a fair trade. I've played a ton of this deck with 4 Moonsnare, 4 Springleaf Drum. This has been a really common deck on the stream, on the channel. What I like about this version more is Mantle makes both Chip and Sai, I think, a lot better, giving more zeros. And makes both Chip and Sai a lot better. More interesting payoffs, and it lets you Emry on turn 1, like, so much more consistently. Where because Moonsnare costs blue, you just don't get to Emry on turn 1 almost ever. So this is the theory behind the deck. More zeros. But I'm gonna die. Don't really need to do anything else, right? I could just go bounce this with Spellbomb. I feel like I have lethal. I guess if my opponent like isn't gonna concede, I'll just grow this construct a bit more, but I could keep digging too, I could crack the lantern, I could, you know, draw cards, but let me just like attack for 17 real quick. Turn 4. Yeah, I know I've been a long time hater of both Chip and Sai, but like the Paradise Mantles are really just making me rethink it. I know it's not like the biggest change ever or whatever, but okay, this version, did they cast Binding? Big Fire Ice. If we need, I might leave in the Spellbomb until I think they're not playing Persist. Alright, let's do this. Tron is fine in Pioneer? Wait, Tron is going to be in Pioneer? Is that what Doomwake is talking about? I kind of don't feel like it'd be fine, guys. I kind of feel like it'd be pretty obnoxious. I guess you can't Sylvan Scrying off Chromatic Sphere and Star. There is elite concept art for Tower. Oh, I mean, that's just like probably a secret layer, though, right? Yeah, I don't really think it'd be fine. I feel like it'd be really good. Be a very scary card package to have in the format. What if I wanted to play Mono Red Prison? What would that be good? You need to play 2 colors. You need to play like green red for Ponza. You need to play like, you know, if you want to play a Blood Moon deck, you could play like Rakdos Scam. There's just like Mono Red Prison, I think, is a pretty bad deck. I have been a long time non-believer in the archetype. Pretty good draw. It's a solid chance I sack Spellbomb for a card, especially if they kill the Ornithopter. They should have R2 was for Urza's Towers, maybe a few workshop. Okay. If those cards come to Pioneer, we'll see how it goes. I will say, like, no Expedition map, and the fact that there's no Chromatic Star, Chromatic Sphere to Ancient Stirrings will make Tron a lot harder to find. There is that 1 mana, like... Okay, they're targeting the Needle. There is that 1 mana, like, Expedition map, but only looks at the top 5 cards, but except for 1 mana instead of 2. No, Once Upon a Time is banned in Pioneer. Oh, Golos? Okay, maybe Tron and Pioneer would be fine, huh? Now that you have mentioned Golos, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's be bad. Let's add Tron to Pioneer. Okay, I think I'm gonna just hold up the Spellbomb now. Ooh. Okay. What could Eldrazi try to have in Pioneer? Do not play Eldrazi in your deck in a format where Eldrazi Temple or Ayavugan are not legal. Just don't Just don't do it. My advice to you. What's the Trump payoff? Karn, Ulbong, Ugin, Meteor Golem. I mean, you probably don't main deck Meteor Golem, but yeah, those cards probably. I was thinking they were going to creativity my clue token, or their clue token. Like maybe they just don't have creativity. Let's take a draw. Okay, not a bad draw. Okay. I think I'm just gonna go like this. Just I have channel Otawara plus Spellbomb up, and maybe can get kind of crazy next turn. The Rin and 6 maybe ultimates, but or gets close to ultimate next turn. We should be able to pressure it though. I can also bounce it with Otawara if push comes to shove. You want Overwar for creativity? I've been saying this a lot, but like you could play Overwar for Flusterstorm, but Flusterstorm is a lot more versatile. It comes in against Living In, which is a hard matchup. But I think if you play blue or white, you want to play like Hallowed Moonlight, Flusterstorm, Containment Priest, Evasive Surgery, Counter Magic, and these cards are a lot more versatile than just coming in against creativity. If you're playing green-red, red-black, red-green, green-black, black-green. These are the color combos where you are interested in Overwar if you're playing a one-color deck. So they got creativity on 2. We have the answer for that here. I could definitely see playing a second Otawara. Otawara is really good in the deck. You have so many legends. House Company was okay. We went 2-3 into 4-1. It felt good too. Just kind of the same as it has though. Not super duper different or anything. Yeah, they have to go for it. There's Saga drawn for turn. Let's make a token. No, we didn't find anything for Sai. I think I'm getting another Aether Spellbomb. Play this. Spin Urza. Then I think we just send everything at Rin. Or almost everything. Just make sure it doesn't ultimate next turn. I guess we could go... We could actually have gone bounce a token. I don't know. I'll just keep the Spellbomb up. Yeah, you can play lands up first if you have land drop, but we played our Saga already. So if they have creativity X equals 2 here... Oh, I guess they can have creativity X equals 3, huh? You bounce 1 token. Okay, they just don't have another creativity. They see Titania's getting a meld card. I didn't see... So I guess there's more Brothers, Worst Boys. I don't have a spoiler card this season. I don't think I do. But I'll take a look. Sounds cool. Good draw, good draw. Just art stuff. Boo, art. Okay, cast Thoughtcast. I think I leave back my Urza and my Sai so that they don't die to a lightning bolt here. Yeah, Opal will be very busted. It'll be too good. Alright, Unleash Shell. I guess that's a pun. Right, kind of reminds me of like Star Wars droids. Looks pretty cool. Mishra's Command. Mishra's Command. Is that a colorless command? I feel like that's like incredibly hype. Tech for Luzco, hold on. Ashnod's Harvester, love this art. Urza's Workshop, cool. Mishra's Foundry, cool. Mass Production, fine. Another Mishra card, Gix. There's, okay, Battlefield Forge, okay, Painland Reprint. Grusa Realization, love that. Okay, this is a lot. 100 more images. Okay, never mind. I came up with a wordplay nickname for the Scepter deck. Dice Toucan. Like Dice Toucan. It was fun. I love to play the Scepter combo deck too. It's very, very fun. I was playing No Grudges in the sideboard, but I can show you the list I would currently play. It's in the Stream Decker. The Engineer Synthesizer plan was cool. I liked it somewhat. I think it's better to play Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I can pull up the list for you. Oh wow, another Minamo Emry draw. Yeah, this deck is definitely just, you know, the turn 1 Emry machine. Head over a Thought Monitor. Okay, up against Mel. Okay, Emry kind of bad against Mel, actually. Be a fun match. Do I have the Emrakul in the sideboard? I kind of waffled back and forth. Okay, I don't have it. Okay, this is the list I'd recommend for Breach. I'll post the link in the chat. Up to 20 lands because your mana curve is a bit higher with Fable. I like Heat Over Blast. You can kill Archon and Primeval Titan. I'm playing Orvar. 3 Orvar for creativity, which is still super common, super popular matchup. And I think Run Afoul to answer. Murktide Regents is still relevant enough to want it. I also like Run Afoul against creativity, where especially like if they're going to board into like Emrakul and Iona to blank your Orvars, you also have Run Afoul against them, and then obviously it kills Archon too. Oh, you posted the wrong list. I see. Okay, Fling the Brain. Okay, there's got to be better Fling effects than Fling. There's Thud, which is sorcery but 1 mana. But surely they've printed better Flings at this point. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know, I guess. I don't actually know. It just kind of feels like surely at this point. We'd have like a strictly better Fling. Unearth? They're playing Unearth and Mill? What the hell? That's really random. Yeah, there's the red NDFC Fling. That could be worth playing, so, you know, you could just play it as a land. I feel like this deck would also benefit from Unearth, where you can, like, you know, if your Manufactor, Glimmer Baron dies, right, you have Unearth to, like, rebuy your effects. Although you probably have to play Finale over it. Never mind, actually. You also need to play a Springleaf Drum. I would probably just, like, not play the Galvanic Blasts. Play a Springleaf Drum. Play, like, 2 of the red NBFC Flings. Maybe 1 regular Fling. I think Fling is missing. Yeah, maybe they just nailed it, huh? Maybe it's just... Oh, did I not cast this Minamo? Oh, sorry, I drew it off the Bauble. Yeah, maybe they just nailed it, huh? I don't know. That's possible. Because my top card is this Lantern. Let's go play this Minmite. Reconfigure. Play Mox Amber. I'm gonna exile a creature from my yard. Alright, go Midnight's go. I play one. You can play. Oh, sorry. I mixed up the numbers here. Never mind. This is fine. Sideboard looks pretty good. I like the sideboard as a first draft. But I think you just need to cut the blasts. Play a 4th Manufactor. Go up to like 21, 22 lands. So you can play 2 MDFC red flings, maybe 2 regular flings also, then 1 Springleaf Drum. And just kind of be in on the combo. It's an interesting list. Modest, think of the raid. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. And Destructor Child with the 5-pack. It's for deck tech. You can deck tech, but otherwise, thank you. Yeah, the combo is Glimmerbairn, sacrificing all of your food tokens, and then you fling it to get them. Rite of Consumption, best fling. I have 1 elixir to beat Burn and Mill. That's a Saga. Well, you have Shadowspear for Bird. I would rather play an Emrakul than an elixir, but you can play an elixir. We've been playing against the mill today. It's maybe time. We're down to just 16 cards in our graveyard or library. They drew 3. We can't lantern ourselves. Pretty dead here, I guess. Get to draw a lot of cards though, and maybe that's better than like winning a game. Always got 4 cards in their hands. I don't think any of these cards do anything. I guess I can spend once, probably. I'm at 10 cards. I don't think that's a super relevant multiple. I just need to stay above like 7, I think. I think I'm also going to bounce a crab to like restrict their mana, but it shouldn't really matter. Yeah, if we only win fling, we need to play fling in this deck. Basically, like we can't beat anything, right? We can't even beat a fetch land. No. Crab, 5 mystery cards. Can't beat field, can't beat any fetch, can't beat Tasha's. We can beat, yeah, I don't know, maybe if we have like all Thought Monitors stuff. No, they surgical the Thought Monitors. Okay, that's not a fetch land. It's not a fetch land. No, you're kidding. We're dying to Ashiok freaking Nightmare Weaver for Xaxes because I spun the Urza. I just didn't think that 9 was like that relevant of a number. I guess it freaking was. I guess 9 was actually relevant because of another crab too. That's on me. That's on me. That's on me. Okay, Emry's kind of awkward in this matchup because you like mill yourself for 4, but let's be at 62, I think. Just do this. They're playing both Unearth and Ashiok in their mill deck. So weird. Needle the fetch. Needle and Field of Runes actually probably fine. Quick Bauble. This deck is too high synergy to want to play Ashiok in a matchup like this. This hand needs to draw a land. Paradise Mantle, Springleaf Drum. I think you have to keep on 6. Might do nothing though. Opponent's on a Mold to 6 as well. Keeps their 6. Land, please. Awesome. Don't really deserve this. We've been boarded out of land. We'll take it, though. I only have 4 artifacts, so we're a couple short of the monitor, but we will pass. Two crabs. No fetch land. Can mill themselves for unearthed value. They decided to target me to mill 2 Thoughtcast, Urza, Drum, Memnite, Island. Might surgical Urza if they have it. It costs 3 currently. Cost 1 actually. I will say Sai has been really good today. Sai has definitely been it, you know. Why no Moonsnare? Moonsnare, it's you can't really go turn 1 Moonsnare and turn 1 Emry, but Mantle and Springleaf Drum let you turn 1 Emry like really consistently, which is like very powerful. And it's kind of the idea, but I don't think that it, you know, it's also like not ridiculous to play Moonsnare, but this is why I'm not. I think second for a draw there is fine. And then we can go equip to a non-summoning 6/1. Hold up Flusterstorm off the Springleaf Drum. Tech for 1. Yeah, there's been a lot of mill today. I feel like every time I pack like an Emrakul, I just never play against it, but I get caught with my pants down a lot, I guess. So maybe it's time to be back in on the Emrakul train. Down to 35 cards in the library. We can Flusterstorm Atashas. Main phase, bounce the oh, so they get Revolt for push. Okay, so we'll just Flusterstorm. Obviously, Emry milling us for 4 is pretty awkward. Don't think we have much of a choice though. Just cast it. Send in, pass. Get down to 14. Are they on like a fetch land list mana base? Maybe a budget list. The problem with Paradoxical Engine in these kind of decks is they're only good when you have Urza. It's only good when you have Urza, an active Urza, and like lots of other stuff, which is makes it a bit win more. But I don't know. Like it could be interesting to build a deck with like just be in on Urza and play like Paradoxical Outcome, Urza, and like 1 or 2 upheavals. Engine is great with chip. Engine is like, I think Engine is a card that you can tutor with Karn when you're winning, and outside of that, it's just not a card I believe in Modern, really. Of all the games to go Thought Monitor into Thought Monitor, Thought Monitor, this is maybe like the one where you kind of don't want to do this. I have lethal. I have 5, 6. Yeah, I should have lethal for next turn, right? They go down to 9, and then I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so let's just not. I think we just don't want to die to fetch land. So Paradoxical Engine. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about Paradoxical Outcome. Yeah, sorry, Engine is Engine's not really it, but yeah, I don't know. Outcome is probably again a bit too win more, but it'll be very fun, I'm sure, to play Urza Paradoxical Outcome Upheaval. Oh, I wonder if that's actually, can you do that with Maria? Because like the problem with that build before is you have no redundancy for Urza. But you actually do have redundancy for Urza with the green-red card. The problem is, like, obviously, like, not tapping for blue is bad, but it's kind of, it's like almost interesting. I might like try to hammer out a list or something. We'll see. Build it on stream, maybe. Play Mary or Thopterist, super fast, consistent. Yeah, I've seen some lists. They look okay. Does sound cool, huh? What's the Urza redundancy? There's a new Urza lady. She's like Urza's apprentice. She does the same thing Urza does. You can only tap non-tokens, but you make green or red mana, and she's 3 mana instead of 4. And you can also tap 2 non-tokens and like exile top card, play till end of turn. Okay, I guess I'm needling Shelldock Isle. I don't know. I again, I'm not like a big believer in paradoxical outcome in Modern, but Maria does like make it like more interesting than it had ever been before, I guess. So we draw a 0-mana creature next turn. We can Thoughtcast. It's supposed to be my best choice for counterspell Affinity Shells, maybe Salir with Rebuke or Dispute. I hate Rebuke. Rebuke is like just such a trap, I feel. What up, people? Yeah, people was yeah, that was the plan. But already talked about it some. I don't know. I don't know if you play Paradoxical Outcome and Upheaval and Maria, but maybe like just Upheaval, right? How do you feel against Spill? It hasn't felt so good so far, I'll say, Especially like how we just draw so many cards and we mill ourselves with Emry. It just doesn't feel that good, I think. Okay, if we keep playing just basics, they can't Field of Ruin me at least. Do you think you can play enough legends for Mox Amber and the Mary build? You would play at least the first Mox Amber, probably like 2 at least. I'll probably try to playtest the Maria Upheaval. I mean, it just sounds like super sweet, you know, admittedly. We're gonna drown this? Keenan? Oh no, I hate Keenan, but it's probably good enough, yeah. Oh no. Keenan's probably great. Why did Keenan hate? Oh, you know, I've been around the block for a long time. I've just, you know, I spent a lot of time brewing with Keenan and never really liked it, but this would be the show. It would be, I don't know. So no, you probably can't play Emry. Maybe you could play Emry still. I don't know. You don't have very many artifacts you're casting. I wonder if you don't play Saga in this build. Probably play Saga. You play 3 or 4 Maria. No Saga makes the mana look so much better though. But you're already playing green. You play 2 upheavals or just 1? 1 or 2? Up on Ambers? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. A tricky deck to build. Okay, let's keep the Flusterstorm up. Yeah, this is very, very deep. I feel like maybe with the 4th Paradise Mantle too. Yeah, I feel like I kind of feel like you just don't play Saga. It makes your mana so much better to not play Saga. You're more resilient to hate. There's also like a bit more room because you don't have to play the Saga targets. You probably still play like 16 lands. Yeah, I'll just do like 4 more just for my mental. Okay, the list is like, it's kind of, the numbers are exactly like what you would want them to be too. Is Urza the other win con? I mean, Upheaval's the win con. This puts a non-human, so you don't, I guess you can get Mirror and a Thought Monitor. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like just like, you know, making millions of mana into Upheaval Urza should be enough to win. Hullbreacher's not legacy legal or modern legal. Echoing Truth on my Thought Monitors. Sure, I guess. I'll take the cards. I can't resist. No, Emry. Oh, I guess you probably do need to play Emry just to like maximize those turn one Emry. I mean, I guess you play Emry over Thought Monitor. Actually, you play Emry over Thought Monitor. Monitor's, you know, okay here. And then you get the third Mox Amber pretty easily with this many legends. So you probably just played 3 Maria. You play 3 Keen and 4 Maria though. I don't know, Maria is like really important to combo. Deck looks like pretty terrible, but so fun looking. Okay, can Flusterstorm, Ashiok, Nightmare Weaver, fuck. Man, yeah, I just have 16 placeholder lands. I don't know if you're joking, but I will build a mana base at some point for that. I like cutting Mary down to 2 or 3. Yeah, I mean, I think you can play 3. I don't think you have to play 4. I think we have to die this game, though. But boy, will we get to draw a lot of cards first. Oh, there's a Psy? Where'd you come from? I mean, I can't play any non-basics and let them Field of Ruin. Does that deck when I'm Minamo? I don't know. I'll build the mana base later. This is like, I'm not worried about the mana. If you can, you play Engine over 1 Upheaval. No, you need 2 Upheavals. I think that's your main win con. Thank you, Rye. Welcome to the chat. I haven't played Thopterist with Maria. I don't know. Everybody that plays the deck says, "Oh, it's broken," and it doesn't really look that good to me, to be honest. All right, we're dead, really. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go turn 1 Shadowspear, then I can go turn 2 Thoughtcast. Guess I'll blank Inquisition, huh? You have so many zeros. Okay, I guess I don't think there are any other good zeros, but there's not like another obvious zero for that deck that I'm missing, right? Oh, it does work? Okay. EE. I think I like Thought Monitor better than Keenan. I think I might be on board for that. No. Claws of Gix. Oh, don't tempt me with freaking Claws of Gix. 1 Echo of Eons. Oh no. I think you're right, because like if you mill over your Upheaval with Emry, it's just such a nightmare, and Echo of Eons is like kind of a good way to get around that. How do you winning? The idea is you draw your deck, you make tons of mana, and then you're just going to Upheaval with millions of mana floating, play Urza, your zeros again, and like probably play 2 Urzas with the constructs, right? Echo Narset? I guess 1 Echo, 1 Narset for those like loops, I don't know. Probably a little bit too deep, huh? Spellbook? Spellbook's probably 2 point more. Okay, and if this is just like the best bluffed Prismari command ever, good for them. Yeah, well, yeah, Welding Jar works. I don't know. Welding Jar also kind of like isn't that good. Tip exclamation point deck tech in chat, bro. Get some info on that. Is Time Warp not better than Upheaval if that's your win con? Upheaval is so much better. It's unreal. In this list specifically, Upheaval is absurd. I don't know. I mean, we have like basically 23 zeros. That's probably plenty. Zemo, thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate you. Come back. Yeah, I am kind of ambivalent about the Keenans. You have so many nut draws with the Keenan, but it is pretty fragile, but so is like most of your deck anyways. But maybe the list is just cleaner if you cut the Keenans. What does this deck beat? Oh, probably nothing. I don't know. I mean, like this is what brewing is like, right? Like you have some cool ideas, like wow, redundancy with Urza for paradoxical outcome upheaval. This is awesome. No one's ever done it, but like, you know, I've been around the block a bunch. I freely acknowledge that this deck looks horrible. You know, it's one of the worst look. I feel like it's one of the worst looking decks I've ever like considered putting together on stream, but. This is what it's like to be me. I just have this like compulsion to like see ideas out, and then most of them never make the light of the stream. But this is what it's like to be me. I just have, I can't help myself. Oh, I wonder if we play Psy. Actually, Psy is like another win condition too. So like you could do like 2 Psys. Size also, we could play 3 even. Size been like really good today. Oh wait, no, this deck should just play Ridden 6. Right? Oh, you can also play a Gingerbread Cabin mana base. But you don't have enough mana. But yeah, what if you just play Ridden 6? And all of a sudden we're a Ridden 6 artifact deck without Saga. But hitting those land drops is so nice. It's good Mox Amber enabler. Need like Veil of Summer. We're pretty. I think I'm pretty far, at least at the moment, of like thinking about the sideboard for this deck. Wait, how's my opponent at 2? They didn't chump block? Well, they're gonna be chump blocking with their Archon. Are they just dead on board? Yeah, they're just dead on board. Cool. I have the Shadowspear even. Okay. Up a game. Tons of creativity this league. This is our 3rd creativity opponent this league. My sideboard plan has been changing a little bit, but I've been bringing in like a Needle, Receiving the Lantern if I think they might be in on Persist, which it might still be... I think this is how I've been sideboarding. It says GG, I draw 7 lands. GG. I mean, what? I mean, they curved out really well that game, though, right? They were like turn 2 Ridden 6, turn 3 Prismari commands, creativity X equals 2. Okay, I'm going to I'm gonna stop working on the Paradoxical Outcome deck, and I'll take a break after the stream, do some playtesting tonight, and we'll go from there. Okay, so usually I would not want my Ornithopter to be bolted in these spots so that I could make sure I can make a Saga token on turn 2, which is the nut draw or whatever. But here, because I have 2 Ornithopters, I'm going to try to bait a removal spell. Bro, the deck tech, if it's link in chat, I can take a look. Be happy to take a look. So I think I play out this Ornithopter, so my Thopter does not die to bolts. My Construct, rather, sorry. Tech, Esper Control. Okay, so this strategy of just, like, playing Murktide Regent in control was good, like, very early into Modern Horizons 2, and in my opinion stopped being good as soon as everybody was just, like, very ready to beat Murktide, but this is not a good win condition in your control deck. It is... Modern is a format where people are ready to kill a Murktide Regent, and when you're playing Murktide in a control deck like this, your 1 copy of Murktide or 2 copies of Murktide have to deal 20 damage by themselves. It's not like in Blue-Red Murktide where you're backing it up with lots of other creatures, and your Murktide is able to... Are they going after the binding? The drum? It's different. It's different where... okay, I guess I can't kill the Rin. Weird game. But your 1 Murktide, 2 Murktides, they have to do 20 damage by themselves, right? You don't have Ragavan, you don't have DRC, you don't have Lightning Bolt chipping away. And so this is just not something I recommend at all. I also don't think Tainted Indulgence is a card I would be playing in any control list or any deck that's not trying to loot away Archon of Cruelty. Looting away Archon of Cruelty is really the only situation I like this strategy. Oh, brutal. That being said, you don't have, Archon of Cruelty persist. Consider is also the only card I would only play if I was playing Snapcaster Mage in control, which you're not doing. That's the only reason to play Consider, but you should play Opt instead so you don't mill over your fetchable targets. In control, you should be splashing. You should be playing Leyline Binding. Binding's nuts. It's very easy to play. It's broken. But yeah, I don't know. It's very difficult to get deck techs like this where... Like, I have a control list I recommend. Like, Blue-White X control list in Modern. You can find it in the Stream Decker. But, like, I would not play Murktide in Esper Control. I would not play Wandering Emperor. I would not play Consider. Thoughtseize is a card that makes your mana much worse. It doesn't play very well with your control game plan. I'd play no Thoughtseizes. I would not play Dam. I'd play Supreme Verdict. I would not play Drown. I would play 4 Archmage's Charms. I would not play Anti-Tainted Indulgence. I would play no more than 1 Force of Negation. I would play no more than 1 Typhoon, probably 0 Typhoon. And so these kind of deck techs are just really tough where it's I'm like having to like really scrap the entire thing and rebuild it for you, But oh, gross. I guess I have to go to 5. Sans just doesn't do anything. The Borrowers in the sideboard. Borrower is just not a card I recommend in Modern at all, especially in colors that can deal with artifacts and enchantments. But it's generally pretty underpowered. Voidrin is generally underpowered. Emperor is not a card I like very much. I don't know. It's tough. These kind of deck techs are really tough, just because I would build it almost completely differently. And if you want to see how I would build Blue-White Control, I can pull it up because I played it very recently. Although I don't think I'd be on these main deck Shadow of Doubts that I was playing. Hold on. I played this the other day. I don't think that splashing black is good or correct. I think that I'm still liking Jace and Teferi Hero as my main win conditions. This is how I build the mana base for Leyline Binding. I can post a link in the chat. I think main deck Chalice is good. I think I'd be on Dress Downs the main over the Shadow of Doubts here. How come modern control decks run less land than other formats? You have more card draw. In Modern, it's very tough to be mana flooded, but in Standard, you have a bit more card selection in Standard, and you have more cheap interactions, so you're okay missing some land drops in some matchups. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to get a Springleaf Drum, so we have Flusterstorm up, attack for 4. I think Yawgmoth's really good. I would play Yawgmoth over Scapeshift, especially with the banning of Yorion. Okay, if they're going to Prismari Command, they shouldn't have let me block, although I can't Flusterstorm back, because they have 2 mana to pay. Pretty dead, always, you know, hard archetype to mull to 5 in, especially in what is probably a tricky matchup. Okay, I don't know why they're dealing 2 to the Construct. They must have another removal spell. So I guess I should Flusterstorm this so that they can't actually kill my other... Okay. That was a fast Veil of Summer. Oh, I see, I see. Wait, hold on. Why did my other construct die? It had 2 damage on it and had 3 artifacts. What am I? Why I don't understand. I blocked with the untapped one. Oh, they did 2 damage. They did 2 damage to the one that was blocking. I didn't realize they did 2 damage to the one that was blocking. Okay. I see. I see. Okay. GG. I thought they did it the other way for whatever reason. Okay. GG. I draw 7 lands. Goodbye.